Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your mid-November reading. Let's get right into it now. Before we do, we'll mention that Mercury retrograde is approaching on November 15th, 14th, the pre-shadow period begins. So just to keep that in mind, Mercury retrograde is generally known to be a time where matters of communication, transit, may find some sort of difficulty, so to speak. But Mercury retrograde can also be helpful in many, many, many ways, as it brings back around the mountain in a certain way matters of communication, that and thinking, strategized thinking, that may still need to be sorted out, from the last cycle of Mercury's retrograde. So there's something perhaps coming back around the mountain, and I was hearing for you, Sagittarius, prescribed pattern. So something expected, and I was hearing leveling up. There's some sort of higher ground perspective that you're gaining, and I was hearing takeoff, so something to do perhaps with an actual, I'm hearing ascension for a number of you. Let's pull the cards here. Sagittarius. There is a focus on what is brimming to the surface in a certain way, and it's emotional, greatly so. You have the Three of Cups in reverse overlaying the Chariot in reverse. You have the Four of Cups, 3-4, that binds the Three of Cups to this very thick stack here, faced by the Nine of Cups, horizontally laid parallel to the Four of Cups. However, the rat on the Four of Cups card has its focus, I'm hearing its mind's eye vision, set on the Mother of Wands, who's I'm hearing self-reliant, focused on, I'm hearing her own goods. Now, Nine of Cups, overlaying the Two of Pentacles in reverse, overlaying the Daughter of Pentacles in reverse, overlaying the Three of Swords in reverse, the Two of Swords upright, 3-2, a sequence. You have two twos in this stack so far. Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords. You then have the Eight of Pentacles upright, mirroring this Three of Swords. You then have the Moon upright, Major Arcana, mirroring the Two of Swords. The Daughter of Cups in reverse, the Daughter of Wands upright. Two daughters here, three actually. You've got the Daughter of Pentacles as well. There's I'm hearing conglomeration of resources. Nearly in the center of the stack is the Eight of Pentacles, speaking to tremendous focus, direction, clarity of where we're moving amidst the chaos, amidst the pandemonium of expectation in a certain way, be it of your own sort of expectation. I'm not feeling that though, of others rather. Those around you, there's sort of this feeling something is stirring. But what is it that is going to culminate? And the question of this pressure that's surmounting is very much a natural mystery. A natural mystery. You have here the Mother of Wands, as well. And the Moon, there's this focus on creation, but also the pattern, the cycle, the process of birth. Being of an inherently mysterious cycle of creation, On one hand, you kind of know you're showing up, you're working, you're putting in the work, but what exactly materializes in the third dimension of the intentions that are set, of the frequency that is emitted? Yes, is an emotional culmination of finally seeing the fruits of our labor. And this, for a number of you Sagittarius, may be a birth, my goodness, absolutely, of the Ten of Cups in reverse, mirroring the Mother of Wands upright, with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse straight down the middle. It's like, I don't know where I'm going. All I know is that something's got to come out. Something I'm hearing must be said as well. I'm hearing that for a number of you. Something must be heard as well. And the vision I'm getting is of this Mother of Wands, tremendous focus. And I am getting that this is your own energy for a number of you, though. I am getting that this is another individual who there is a bilateral focus on this individual and what if they are involved in a creative process venture. It's kind of like they've got to play their part so I can get on stage in a certain way. It's kind of like, okay, but the process and the time that's taken for this act to surface, and I'm hearing to level up, to level out, is indeterminable. Okay, it's yet again a natural cycle, and there's no sort of I'm hearing cycle of expectation, and it's not like, okay, I'm beginning this project. I'm planting the seed because I know that it's going to come to fruition, for example, on this exact day. You realize, and you've realized through this whole process, Sagittarius, from the very beginning of it, you were like, there's no time, no date, I'm not crunching any numbers. Okay, in terms of the variance, the timeline of how I move through it, the cycle, the process, and I'm getting it is cyclical, whatever this is, it is cyclical, specifically having to do perhaps with the seasons, with the moon. Okay, I'm getting calendar work very, very strongly here. Okay, nonetheless, and you realize I didn't go into it with that expectation, and as I move out from one chapter of the process to the next, I realize that I can't hold that I'm hearing that standard, that expectation, all the same. It's a matter of flowing with the idea, not of what materializes, but of what materializes means. I'm hearing for everyone. So it's this Sagittarius, this expansive frame of mind that you hold in regards to matters of creation, and it's like the focus, the pandemonium. Okay, I said the focus, the pandemonium, two very opposing sort of energies, right? The craziness, and amidst the craziness, holding the mind's eye vision. And I'm hearing seeking the grounds to lay these eggs. Okay, I'm hearing to lay the burden to rest in a certain way. Take it as you will. That could be meant in a number of ways, right? But I'm hearing, where do I want it all to begin again? And so this is the vision I'm getting for you, Sagittarius, is the Mother of Wands, almost as if I'm seeing it. She's scavenging the forest lands to find just that patch of land that feels right to her. And her concern is not even why that patch of land matters in a certain way for the physical materialization of what she's experiencing, the birth. It's like she's not thinking, I've got to find the patch of land so that I can have the baby, and it's got to feel right for the baby. She's thinking it's like the the many layers, okay, I'm hearing of transcendence, of the processes of manifestation and change, and I'm hearing of time, timelines, are all sort of truncated in this single moment. And that is the pandemonium and the focus of it that creates a sort of clarity for you, Sagittarius. And it's like, it's almost like, it's like a test of how focused am I on what I understand holds no bearing of recognition for me to focus on in this exact moment. How much am I just simply aware of the movement from one chapter, one frame of the experience to the next, and you realize, I'm just the vessel. I'm just the vessel, okay, that cannot even pay mind to the process that I move through to move from point A to point B, so to speak. I'm hearing locomotion, locomotive. The actual movement, and I'm hearing kinesthetic, the actual physical, tangible markers of movement. I'm hearing body work. Yes, in a certain way, upholds my ability, I'm hearing, to speak of what it is that, and I'm seeing it almost as a sort of platform, Sagittarius, allows me to engage in the third dimension in a physical, material, tangible way. But it's so peripheral. Again, Sagittarius, I'm seeing this dichotomy, very clear distinction between the third dimension and that state of sheer embodiment of what you're physically doing. And it is not necessarily the forsaking of either. Okay, it's yet again the recognition. In a subconscious way, the Mother of Wands understands that the patch of land is for technically the birth in this moment, but that it moves so far and so many layers beyond that, that conception holds value I'm hearing in so many places and to so many times. In the moments that I realize I am forever the living embodiment of every creation to be. I house, I'm hearing where I come from, and I house where I go. And where I take myself is not a matter of stance, the change of place, of time, of space. It is the recollection of the memories, the many varying propensities of the manifestation of me. And it's not about getting fixated on just one frame in the movie reel. That's kind of what I'm feeling for you, Sagittarius. And I'm getting that you get that. To the point, it's not like, oh, I got it. It's like, it's instinctual. It's instinctual, okay? It's instinctual that it's not about this or that. It's like a sort of like I just feel compelled. I feel almost possessed. Not in like a possessed sort of way, but in the self-possession in a certain way. The embodiment, okay? The self-embodiment. Now you have a focus here, Sagittarius, on communication of emotions, and whatever this cycle has been, it's not required of you, but there's been an accompaniment, okay, along with it, in a certain way, of the emotional side to the story. And there's a question, okay, there's a focus on I'm getting, again, just the right time when the focus of what I've been experiencing culminates, that I understand naturally, by way of effect, I'm hearing cause and effect, the emotional side of the story too comes undone. I'm hearing fastenings and its bearings, finds its place in the grander scheme of change, where I understand what I've been experiencing. I'm hearing for a number of you a form of a dissonance of societal, I'm hearing sociocultural for a number of you, connections. And it's almost as if you've sort of put the emotional side of the story on hold in a certain way. I'm hearing the communicative side of the story on hold in a sort of way, because you've been so focused on what comes of why the whole experience is, I'm hearing, taking its turn at the wheel. Sagittarius, you realize that whatever it is that you're involved in is a process, okay, of transformation. And you have here the Tower, right? Speaking of transformation in and of itself, absolutely, there is a cycle, okay? And it's been testing of time, okay, but namely of focus. And I'm hearing for you, the key is to remember what brings you to the zone where you are one with what matters. Not because you understand it, of what you're experiencing. Not, right, it's like, I understand why it matters, so that's what matters. But what matters to you in terms of having no reason for the importance of it in your world. And my hand just bumped against this amethyst crystal, which speaks to Neptune energy, Neptunian, Piscean energy. Speaking of dreams, okay, and it's wedged just in between this Four of Cups, this Eight of Pentacles, right above the moon. Whatever this process has been, there's been a sort of, I'm hearing I'm running in circles. I'm running in circles, okay, but you realize at the same time, it's not just, you're not running around in a ring, and the feeling that the vision that I'm getting for you here, Sagittarius, is, right, there is a certain, cyclical nature to the way that the spider weaves its web, right? But it's almost like, yes, okay, it's cyclical in a certain way. It goes round and round and round. But there's an expansion, there's an edging out of every course of progress that redefines the parameter of progress. And you realize the expansive nature of your work. You get it, even if it feels like repetitive. You feel the growth, okay, in an esoteric way, especially, okay, in a philosophical way, in an energetic way, in a way where you, again, you can't turn your head and focus on, how many rings have I created? What does this mean within the context of what I'm creating? You realize, the spider realizes, I've just got to I'm hearing follow due course. And you may feel absolutely that you're guided through this, okay? And it may be absolutely an intuitive process, okay? Absolutely. I'm getting that very strongly for you. I'm hearing, I'm seeking the light. I'm hearing, from the lands of which I've come. So there's a certain clarity, Sagittarius, of a foiling of what you're experiencing that you realize you're nearing. Okay, you realize it's I'm not just moving into the ether. Okay, I'm not going commando. It's almost as if you feel, Sagittarius, that you have been slingshotted in a certain way through time. Very interesting, Sagittarius. It's like this. The vision I'm getting for you is, what is that? It's like a paddle. Okay, it's like a paddle. It's one of those toys that generally kids play with, or how kids, adults, how whatever technical age, right? We're all kids at heart, but right, that toy that it's like a mini paddle, and attached to it is a string, almost like a rubber band, a rubber string, and on the other end is a little ball fixed to the end of that string. And so, right, you hold the paddle, and the whole game, okay, is that you whack it. You whack the paddle, to which point the ball, right, gets pulled forward to bounce back against the paddle, to move forward again, right? And so you're kind of like playing this game with yourself, okay? And it's almost like tennis, but you don't need another person to play with you, sort of thing, right? So, okay, Sagittarius, the feeling I'm getting for you is the movement of this ball, right? In a certain way, yes, it's not connected to the paddle, okay? In a certain way, it is traveling, right? But there is a sort of boomerang effect of movement and translation, I'm hearing, of the self through time. Even if, right, the ball is like, I'm imagining that the ball has a consciousness, okay? Everything is conscious, but right, let's just imagine it in a simplified way, that the ball has a consciousness. And the ball, and I'm getting it somewhat right, analogous to what you may be feeling through this process of creation and manifestation in a certain way. It's kind of like you realize that you've been launched, okay, to pursue a certain objective, to see something more clearly. I'm hearing to see something more objectively as well. Interesting, okay? And as much as you feel that you're moving through, and imagine that when the ball is moving through, right, when you whack it in slow motion, as much as you feel that you're making this course, you still feel subconsciously, you understand that you're connected in a certain way to a source point of origin. And it's almost, right, it's cyclical. The ball moves forward and moves back, moves forward, moves back. I'm hearing varying states of awareness. And so, Sagittarius, whatever this process has been for you, there's been a certain feeling of knowing not only what I'm experiencing and where I'm going, but where has led me to this point. And it's almost as if the closer you get to the culmination, you realize this is when I draw closer to the culmination of not just what materializes of where I'm going, but the mirroring of where I'm going and what this destination is recognized as in its purest form and intent. And it's so very beautiful, Sagittarius. It's so very beautiful. And it's for a number of, yet again, this may be absolutely a birth, okay? Otherwise, there's a tremendous, tremendous focus here on emotional satisfaction, that you realize you haven't been entertaining frivolous sort of engagements, emotional, social, and the like. There is something that you realize is surmounting. And yes, it's going to be the emotional culmination, 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, in a way that speaks to you in a very personal way, in a powerful way. I'm hearing in a powerful way. And you're seeking this higher sort of state of feeling, of understanding what emotional satisfaction feels like in a soul deep way, in the way of feeling connected, right? So much so to what you've created, somewhat like a mother and her child, right? I'm hearing in that moment of birth, I'm hearing where you recognized yourself in what it is that you create. Okay, so it's like this, Sagittarius. You're like, I don't want to just bounce the ball back and forth. I'm hearing, I don't want to just play ping pong. I could technically do that. I'm hearing, I could technically do those things. Okay, I could technically move. I could technically make a certain level of progress in terms of my emotional standing in my daily life, my habit patterns. But I'm waiting to understand what holding that sacred space of deep emotional satisfaction feels like in and of myself. I'm hearing, and how do I take myself there? That is the course, okay, that you're following, that you're heeding the whisper, Sagittarius. Okay, now, while there is an emotional side to the story, there's absolutely one that speaks to the material, tangible world in a certain way, right? The physicality of what's created, of what's felt through the process. And it's required of you to remain open in a certain way to what financial stability really means and what's going to really give you that sense of financial stability. I'm hearing it's been a process of gatekeeping, okay? So guarding in a certain way. There's a little bit of a guarding energy here, Sagittarius, of, and it may be by way of a certain past, of a dissatisfaction with, and not just dissatisfaction, but perhaps a predicament that was testing of how we see through experiences, okay, that may be difficult in a certain way, that may challenge our perception. And this ultimately, this experience served to fuel, I'm hearing the waiting game of desire, of understanding what will satiate us, both emotionally, both in the physical way, right? And that can be meant in many ways, Okay, I'm getting it for a number of you via partnerships, okay, in a physical way. There's a certain role that you play, Sagittarius, in such a way where you recognize it's all me. I'm hearing it's all my privatized life. What I'm creating, I'm hearing the mountain that I'm climbing. Only I know how to traverse. And I'm hearing, and this is an asset. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, it can be testing, but this ultimately serves to bring me to the place of understanding how to truly manifest. Not just for the sake of manifestation, because I'm getting it again. You're like, I could do that. I could technically just create. I could technically just connect with others. I can manifest that. I'm hearing I can manifest that, but there's something of a much deeper experience that's drawing you to wait. Okay, I'm hearing to wait. And it's a process of discovery, okay? And Sagittarius, this experience has brought you face to face with all of you, with all of the many different sort of roles that you not only take on, okay, but that you can take on. And it's been this sort of expansion of the self, of self-reflection in a certain way, of recognizing what we've come here to do and how it is that we are equipped to do it. And it's been this meeting space, okay, through, and I'm getting through time, through whatever this experience has been, yet again, of showing us our gifts. Yet again, even if it has been difficult, even if it has been testing in a certain way, and you're like, whoa, I've never wielded a paintbrush, but this situation has got me, right? I'm hearing holding foundation, twirling foundation. Okay, in my hand, I'm imagining like makeup brushes. Okay, so for a number of you, whatever that may mean, a certain sort of fabrication of I'm hearing of design, of desire. There's been this wielding of creative potential and the many different ways of approaching that process to find the composition. I'm hearing two things: that fuels you and that fits you. So it's like this, Sagittarius. I don't only want to create in a stagnant way where what I create sits there on the shelf, okay, to be admired, I'm hearing. I want what I create to be a reflecting point at which I'm inspired ever more to create further. And it's almost like you want the process of creation to be a sort of laying of steps, okay? And I'm hearing standing on shoulders, to have a sort of higher perspective. You don't want to move linearly. You want to yet again, and you understand that you're doing this to expand the very concept of the transformation of manifestation itself. So Sagittarius, you're moving beyond the boundaries of what manifestation even means. And that's so very exciting. And it's your personal project, Sagittarius. So enjoy it. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope that this reading was helpful for you. And I highly recommend you check out your rising ascendant or moon sign as well, as oftentimes those may provide you with further insights into your situation. Nonetheless, thank you so much again for all of your support. I highly appreciate it. All of you, your likes, your comments, your shares. Thank you so very much for connecting. And I'll be back soon with the early December reading, so stay tuned for them. Otherwise, love and light to all on this journey forward, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.